Let's go, guys. Yuta has been officially confirmed for the global side of the game on JJK Phantom Parade. So I wanted to do a character guide on what recollections are going to be the best ones to run on him, what teams are going to be the best to run Yuta on, and then of course what skills you want to upgrade first for auto mode, and just in general what skills you want to be using mainly in battle when you're using this character to maximize his damage and his efficiency. So we're going to start off by talking about what he can do, and then we are going to get into all that other stuff. So if you already know what he can do, feel free to skip this beginning part of the video, but if you don't know what he can do, you're going to want to stick around because he's actually insane. So his characteristic when Black Flash is performed increases own Black Flash rate for 3 turns. That is really, really good. So that means if he lands 1 Black Flash, you have a chance of landing more Black Flashes, overall increasing your damage. How do you land more Black Flashes, or how do you increase your chance? Well, each hit counts as a hit in his skill 3. So each time you land a hit, you have another chance to land a Black Flash. I'll explain more what I mean as we go, but his skill 1 is Focus Your Cursed Energy. Deals 120% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy. That is at level 1. All these will be at level 1. If you upgrade it to level 10, it goes up to 180%. His skill 2 is called Cursed Speech. Deals 90% jujutsu damage to all enemies. Decreases all enemies' critical hit resistance by 15% for 2 turns, which is really good. And then depending on own jujutsu and enemy's HP, instantly kill the enemy. This is really good because you're reducing their critical hit resistance, meaning you're going to be able to land more crits as well as more Black Flashes, and both of those things increase your damage separately. So having this skill is going to allow you to just really pop off with damage, and this is really good support for other characters who you also want to land hits, critical hits and Black Flashes as well. So this is just a really good support skill in general if you are going to use him more as a support. And then at level 10 it increases the damage to 135%. Now I will say, out of all the skills that he has, I feel like this is going to be your least used skill, and then we move on to the most used skill. So his skill 3 is Let's Do This Together Rika. Deals combined damage equal to 80% taijutsu, 110% jujutsu, 100% taijutsu, and 150% jujutsu to the selected enemy for 4 hits. Each one of those hits is a chance to hit a Black Flash, and if you hit a Black Flash there, then you increase your chance to hit a Black Flash. If you hit another Black Flash, you increase your chance to hit another Black Flash. And that's part of what makes Yuta so good, because eventually he can just like do really, really crazy stuff with his Black Flashes. And then also getting rid of their crit resist allows him to potentially land crits on top of Black Flashes, which allows him to hit really, really hard with his skill 3. His skill 3 can do some insane damage, sort of like if you've seen Megami in his domain using his skill 1 or his skill 3. Yuta can do that, but without a domain. It's kind of crazy the damage he can do. And then his ultimate is called It's Pure Love. Deals 1000% ranged jujutsu damage to all enemies. Just like Gojo, he has an AoE ultimate. Increases own taijutsu damage by 20% for 4 turns. Increases own jujutsu damage by 20% for 4 turns. However, the downside is he can't fill his ultimate gauge for those 4 turns. So similar to like how a domain works, but not a domain, however you want to explain that. And then when you level it up to level 10, almost 2000 damage, which is insanely, insanely good. His auto skills, his first one is called I Won't Let You Die. At the start of each turn, if an ally's HP is 60% or below and own cursed energy is 10 or above, being key, you want to keep your cursed energy up, which is why you're not going to be using skill 2 as much. You're going to be going back and forth between using skill 3 and skill 1, which takes no cursed energy, okay? But if your cursed energy is 10 or above, recovers all allies' HP by 25%. Excludes self, he doesn't heal himself. Decreases own cursed energy by 10. Increases own taijutsu damage by 10%. Increases own jujutsu damage by 10%. And fills own ultimate skill gauge by 200 up to 3 times during battle. An insanely, insanely good auto skill. I think that just... it can't be matched. It's really, really good. And then his second auto skill, I love this one. If you guys haven't seen the showcase recently where I used Yuta alone in the Formidable Foe battle, this skill came through clutch. So when targeted by an enemy's melee attack, certain chance to deal 120% melee jujutsu damage to the enemy. So basically, Don't Bully Yuta is an auto skill that allows Rika to come out and counter and protect Yuta. It's just, I don't know what the actual percentage chance is. I don't know if we've ever actually gotten the percentage chance, but sometimes it pops off, sometimes it doesn't activate at all. So it's kind of hit or miss, but still, I think that skill is insanely valuable and insanely useful. So this is a character that has a counter, he has healing, he has big damage, he has AoE damage, and he has debuffs for enemies. Like, what more do you want from a character? He's insanely good. So with that said, let me show you guys the character guide that I have come up with for this character. Okay, so this guide for Yuta, I'll admit I took from the JP website and kind of put it together. The reason being the community Discord for JJK on the global side did not yet have a guide made, and I really like using those guides for these videos. I used it in the Gojo video as well as the Megami video, but unfortunately one was not made yet. So let me know if you guys like this format better or the other format down in the comments, and I'll try to go with whichever one is available, of course. But since this one was the only one available, here we are. So here are the two teams that I would say are the best teams for Yuta, and this is what the JP players say are the best teams for Yuta. Notice there is no Gojo on these teams because typically you don't want to run Gojo and Yuta together because Yuta and Gojo do very similar things. In my opinion, Yuta is just a little bit better because he doesn't go away. Now, some might argue that Gojo is better because he can't be damaged, but you got to remember Yuta also has a counter that can be decent. However, it doesn't activate all the time, so there is the downside to it, of course, as well. Now, as for recollections that you want to run on him, these are going to be the main two recollections you want to run on Yuta if you have them. This one is a free-to-play recollection, Pride, that you get from the Formidable Foe battle against Jogo, and then non-standard is the one that, like, you know, of course, literally everybody wants to pull. I will give you more recollection options down below, but then as for the teams, some of these characters we have on global right now, some of them we do not. So this first team right here, we have Yaga and we have Kaito, both on global right now, both very accessible, free-to-play characters, work really well with Yuta. So if you've been saving, you already are 3/4 of the way to an amazing team, right? Now, this character, Nishumiya, is not yet out on global. She will be out eventually. Who can you replace her with? Basically any supporter character, because she is a supporter type character. So if you have the SR Nanami, I think he would work really well here. I think you could also run Toge, the rare Toge Inumaki. He could also work well here to give ultimate gauge to Yuta and other characters as well. So there's two other replacements that you can run for this first particular team. And then as for the second team, we have the new Megami. So for anybody that actually did go in on Megami, here's your moment. It was actually worth it because Megami and Yuta is kind of like one of the better teams putting them together. So it's a good thing if you went for them. Also, if you have the recollection, like myself, I pulled like 3 of these and I was like, man, I just want the character. It kind of pays off to have this recollection as well because now you are set for a very good team if you have these two characters. And you also, I'm guessing, probably have Yaga. So this is 3/4 of the way there. Once again, this character will come out later on global. And once again, simple changes for this character that are available on global right now. I would still recommend like Nanami. You could put Kaito in. You could move Kaito from this team down to this team. He could be in here easily, or you could do the rare Inumaki. But in general, you're going to want some sort of support character here, most likely. But these are the two teams that will work best with Yuta. And once again, you can change out a few of the units as needed if you need to. Now, as for other recollections besides the non-standard and the Pride that you can put on Yuta, we have all of these. So these are the reasons why these were chosen. These aren't the actual abilities, okay? So this one, skill 3 of physical technique increase is powerful, and the damage dealt at all times is increased by 20% or more. So to explain that, Yuta's skill 3, right, the one I was talking about, is his most powerful skill. So when you can buff Yuta's skill, remember he has Jujutsu and Taijutsu damage. Well, that particular recollection right here buffs both Jujutsu and Taijutsu damage by 30%. So when you're buffing both of those things, that means every single hit that he does is buffed. And then on top of that, if you limit break it, it gives an extra 20% damage just for the entire battle. So this is actually one of the better recollections you can run on him. Now, if you don't have this one, you can also run non-standard because, let's face it, non-standard has that 80% increase, and Yuta's ultimate is going to be a Jujutsu damage, ranged Jujutsu damage to all enemies. So you can still run non-standard and it'll go crazy for a special technique. Same thing with Pride. Pride can be stacked on itself. It can do a ton of damage as well. Similar to non-standard, mainly to be used on his ultimate skill. And we also have this coming out right after Yuta. This is not on global yet, the two strongest people, but it will be coming out with the Geto banner, which is coming out afterwards. And it increases the main firepower of technique by 2 turns and increases the turnover rate of special skills, so allows you to get special skills faster, which is really nice. In general, this just increases your damage and gives you special skills faster. Just summarize that one. This one is on global right now, adult time. Skill 3 is compatible. It has a high value of strengthening and increasing the technique, so it's just really good with skill 3. And then this one is the one we just got from the recent event, Gojo Satoru's solo camping. This is a free-to-play recollection that most people have, so if you don't have any of these other ones, you can at least run this one on Yuta, and it will be good because it strengthens him and allows him to hit harder. And then if you drop below 50% HP, you also get better spell consumption efficiency, so it won't cost you as much to use skills like a skill 3, which by the way costs 30, or a skill 2, which costs 20, so that just helps him out a little bit. So that's a decent one. And then your really free to play options, of course, would be these SR options down here, which are all just in general going to increase like damage or physical technique or jujutsu technique, stuff like that. So just, I'm not going to go over these in depth, but yeah, if you have no other options, you can run those SR recollections. Now, in terms of skill enhancement priority, what skills do you want to be upgrading first? Keeping in mind that in the future, auto skills or auto mode rather is going to change. Okay, so right now the way auto mode works on global is auto mode just automatically picks the strongest skill and uses it. However, in the future, auto mode is going to pick based on skill priority. So this is what you want to do. You want to upgrade his deadly first. You want that to be the highest level. Then you want his skill 3 to be the next priority. That's going to be your next highest level skill. Then you upgrade skill 1. You might be thinking, why not skill 2? That is for spell consumption efficiency once again. Because if you upgrade skill 2, that means it's going to use ultimate skill first, and then if the skill 3 is available, it'll use skill 3. If skill 3 is not available, then it's going to use skill 2 and use up your 20 cursed energy. And then if it uses up your 20 cursed energy, you're just never going to be able to use skill 3 again on auto mode. So you definitely don't want to actually upgrade skill 2 right away. You want to save that for last. So you want skill 3 upgraded, then your skill 1. So after skill 3 is not available, then it uses skill 1, which consumes no cursed energy. You get some cursed energy back, and then both of these might be available, but it will still choose the higher damage skill for you on auto mode. So that's why you do the skill enhancement in that order, and that is how exactly how you should be doing it. I don't care who argues with me. That is how you do the skill enhancement for Yuta 100%. Now, skill usage priority, of course, if you have your deadly, that's the one you're going to want to use in manual. If you have your skill 3, still once again the one you want to use in manual, and then skill 1, and then once again skill 2 is the one you should use least. So whether you're in auto mode, whether you're in manual, this is your skill usage priority for Yuta. Pretty straightforward for this character. And last but not least, we have the total materials. So I really like this on the JP website as compared to the guides. The guides just told you like the top 2 most important materials that you needed, but here is your breakdown of everything you need for getting the grade total materials for Yuta in the end. So this is really, really important, and this will hopefully help you guys out. A lot of JP, a lot of these different things. So feel free to pause the video at this point, take a look at it. And if you guys want to see the JP website, it is linked in the description. You will have to use Google Translate when going through the website. So I translated all this for you. Hopefully this helps you guys out. If you guys did enjoy the video, please consider going down there, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. And thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel. Peace.